Hello, beautiful people. I haven't been been here because I don't know. I didn't have nothing to say. So, but I got something to say. So if you're new here, welcome. My show is Happy to Be Alive. I am happy to be alive and healthy out of this cult. I've been out 5 years. I was a pioneer kid, homeschooler, and that's my spiel all my life. My mom comes on the show occasionally. My sidekick, my mom, Chris. She was she was a pioneer for a long time, and yeah, we talk about ex Jehovah's Witness stuff. So welcome. Okay, let's get down to business, people. Everyone covers Jehovah's Witness books, and it's pretty much for from the 80s, the 90s, 80s, 70s, the 90s, but mostly it's 80s and 70s I see. But for my 80s Jehovah's Witness kids and in my in my 90s Jehovah's Witness kids, my 80s Jehovah's Witness kids teens. These are the kid teen ones that you're in this organization in when you're a teenager, but you were born in the 80s. And the kids who are just 90s kids and the 2000 kids. Here's one for you. And I was raised with this book because I'm a 90s baby. The Greatest Man book. The universe gave me a Christmas gift from the library. The Greatest Man book. And and it was free in the library because no one wants this book because it's a cult book. Let's put it that way. But it's good. There's some good material. So we're the late 80s, early 90s, and the 2000 kids. We know Jesus, baby, from this book. So not this drama about Jesus, and they put Adam and Eve in the drama. I don't get it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just turned it off because of give me the Greatest Man book. Give me Jesus. That's a pastor I like. He says that. Give me Jesus. So 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 okay. This book was made in 2000. No, it was made. I'm sorry, my mom's making Christmas dinner. 1991 it was made, and then it was discontinued in 2010. So for all those years, the Jehovah's Witness kids had we Jehovah's Witnesses had a book just about Jesus. So, why they discontinued this book? It's a very good book. It has Jesus scriptures. It has everything about Jesus's life. And if you call yourself a Christian, you should have a book about Jesus's life. Jesus should be front and center of your teaching. So so I don't know. Maybe the witnesses don't like Jesus. Maybe the higher ups back then, the governing body back then, liked Jesus a little bit more. I don't know. So 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 I had really good memories of preaching with this book. My mom explained. My mom remembered memories, and I remembered memories. So, um, around Christmas time, everyone and their mother, like on Christmas Day and Black Friday. So Black Friday, we started early morning. We did early morning witnessing. We hit the grocery stores parking lot and just place millions and millions of books about of this book. So everyone loved this book. This book was great around Christmas time because everyone is thinking about Jesus. And this is a special book to me because my mom was raised Catholic, so she taught me Jesus. And she loved this book because it's all about Jesus. And the Catholics, they, I'll give them that, they believe, they talk about Christ. So, and she's always like, she's always complaining, and I'm always complaining, and my sister was complaining why they don't talk about Jesus a lot. This is the only book about Jesus. So so when I was growing up, the memorial was a special time, uh, and we that day we thought about Jesus. But now I'll get to my thoughts about Christmas in a little bit. So so I always I always treasure the memorial is a Jesus is thinking about Jesus. So when I was a kid, when I was 6 years old, I had a hard copy of Greatest Man book who ever lived, and I took my book, and that was the only thing I could look at. I don't read really, so it's hard for me because I have dyslexia. And when I was 6 years old, you don't really read anyways. But so I treasured it. I um I took this book, you know, and I looked at the pictures, and it was my book. I had a hard copy, and I scribbled on it. That's my memory of the Greatest Man book. Tell me about your memory if you want. It's very interesting. So so that's what I did with the book. And so when I grew up, when I was a teenager, um, we placed a lot of Greatest Man books around Christmas. Everyone was thinking about Jesus, and everyone wanted it because it was because it because Christmas time is it's not just about Santa. It's about Jesus. So my conclusion about Christmas is there's two ways of celebrate Christmas: the Santa Claus way and the Jesus way. And I'm all for Jesus, and Jesus, it always says there's happiness in giving and than receiving. So that's what I do with the Christmas holiday. I Instead of thinking about Jesus, I think about Jesus all year long. But instead of having a special day, there's still a special day for Jesus for me. Is Christmas and Easter. So instead of the memorial, that's how I feel. So this is interesting. When I was growing up, I learned Satan Santa is when you uh spell Santa backwards is Satan, and that's why we don't celebrate Christmas. And witnesses are right about that. I'll give them that. But Russell celebrated Christmas. Why we can't? Why witness Pimos think about it? Why can't you celebrate Christmas if you do it my way? There's two ways of celebrating Christmas: the Santa Claus way or the Jesus way. If you do it my way, you're thinking about Jesus. That's all I'll say. So, but why the witnesses would put this in their book, Jesus with the manger. And when I think about Christmas, I think about this. Not the, I think Santa Claus is a cartoon, and that's just me. But I think of baby Jesus in the manger, and he would want me to give gifts to people, and it's just interesting. That book, the it's the Jehovah's Witnesses would put this in the book, and they hate Christmas so much. So that's what I was thinking with that. And there's more goodies with this book. So I don't know. Everyone celebrates Christmas their way, and or you don't celebrate Christmas, and that's cool with me. But that's my conclusion, and the answer is why the government body discontinued this really good book. This book it it taught me about Jesus. This is the only book and the um great teacher book taught me about Jesus. And they both got discontinued. Pink one. So that's my thoughts about the greatest man book who ever lived, and have a really happy Christmas and Merry Christmas to you. And Yeshua loves you, and Yahweh loves you, and we love you. Have a Merry Christmas, and don't forget to smile. Peace out. Bye bye. Love you.